what's up guys? Rick Vestudo here. In today's video I want to talk again about adapters. In recent videos I just did a FTZ, a Nikon FTZ to F mount, Z mount adapter and my disappointment, and I'll put that link right here. And then more recently I just did an adapter video about a TechArt adapter, a Sony E mount to Z mount, how surprising. And I'll put that link right here as well. But today I want to talk to you about the Canon EOS R adapters. They make 3 of them. I bought one of them. I bought the most expensive one. It's the variable ND filter adapter and how it adapts glass from the EOS R, the new RF mount, to EF mount, the older EF mount. And so I want to put some of this glass on my camera, hook up my Ninja V to the viewfinder so you can see what I'm seeing. And then at the end we'll also check out this old retro Olympus OM lens manual focus on an adapter on an adapter. So let's jump in and check it out. All right, we're gonna get this video going. I've got my Atomos hooked up to my Canon EOS R and I'm about to mount the adapter, but I really just wanted to do some close-up shots and show you how cool this adapter is. It's just the coolest thing in the world to be able to have ND filter, a variable ND filter that you can roll the button, roll the wheel and change the variableness of it, or pull this out and put a polarizer in. I do have one complaint about it though, that they don't ship the adapter with a blank or clear glass for when you don't want the adapter in there, because the adapter, the variable ND filter, goes down, turns down and opens up, but it's still like 1 or 2 stops. It's still filterized, so it doesn't go to completely clear, which I don't know any variable ND filter that does anyways. So you have to buy extra a clear, whatever these are called, module to go into the adapter so that you can have no filter whatsoever. They also sell the polarizer. This was the most expensive one. It was $390, $399, so 400 bucks with the variable ND filter in it. And then I had to spend another $129 for the clear for times when I don't want the variable ND filter. So I just wanted to get that out of the way and let you know the price of this thing, because it is kind of pricey as far as I'm concerned. I think right now when you buy the Canon EOS R, you get a free adapter, and that's just the plain adapter, not the, and then the other adapter, and that one's like $99 if you have to buy it separately. And then they have another adapter that has a ring on it that when mounted to the EOS R, you can set that up to control a function such as your ISO or whatever you want to set that to. So anyways, I just wanted to explain that to you before I went ahead and installed it on the EOS R itself. So right now I'm not going to be using the variable ND filter because we're indoors, so I'll just be using the clear adapter that cost $129, 130 bucks. Kind of crazy. For they could have just left it blank. Why put a piece of glass in there at all? I don't understand. They're calling it the clear module for the expensive lens, EOS R lens adapter. So that just goes on like any other adapter, just like that on the camera. And then let's go ahead and start with I have the wonderful 85 f1.2 L2 USM lens. So let's go ahead and get that put on there. And it mounts just like any other lens would mount to a regular camera. There's no special thing you have to do to it. So let's just go ahead and test this out. I'm going to show you what my EVF is seeing while we focus on a few things here, and check it out and see how well it focuses. So I just want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Camera Exchange, located in Waterford, Michigan. Without them, I wouldn't have all these cool lenses to test. This video is sponsored by Camera Exchange, your #1 source for used cameras and camera equipment. So give James a call today and tell him Rick sent you for a discount. Okay, so we've got the 85mm Canon 85mm 1.2, and we're going to go ahead and see how fast this focuses. I can hear the motor in the I can hear the motor in the lens. And this is a very slow lens. It's meant for portraits. But boy, does it have an awesome shallow depth of field. You can see the bokeh in the background. Just an awesome lens. It's focusing pretty quick. I'm pretty happy with that. All right, let's jump into the 70 to 200 now. Okay, so I got the 70 to 200 on now, and it's got about the same focusing distance, 3.5 feet. So I'm having a hard time getting on that Rubik's Cube because it's so close. I'm also struggling with this Red Rocket lens blower, sensor cleaner blower. And I'm sure that's because it's not very contrasty. It's just one solid color red, whereas the Rubik's Cube and that little bomb have contrasting colors, black and white. All right, I'm gonna zoom into 200 now. This is making some noise. A lot more noise than the 85 millimeter. Let me let you listen to it. It's a pretty slow and chunky lens, but it's still cool to be able to retrofit EF glass to the new RF cameras, because I'm sure lots of you have these EF, lots of glass, older Canon glass. All right, now I want to go ahead and put this cool old 1980s OM manual focus lens that's for Olympus that I had to put a small adapter on to adapt to Canon. So let me go ahead and do that now. So this lens really is one of the funnest lenses out of the bunch, even though I have to manual focus it. It's a 50 millimeter f1.2, and the bokeh out of this lens is just ridiculous. I'm gonna put up some video right now to show you. I went down to the beach with all three of these lenses, and some young child had collected some shells and put them on the picnic table, and I took these videos. The first video is with the OM 50 mil f1.2, and you can see here what a shallow, narrow depth of field it has. Very, very narrow, where I can only focus on a certain shell. And then this next video is the 85 millimeter, and I had to back away a little bit for that because, again, the focusing distance on this 85 millimeter f1.2, which is a wonderful portrait lens from back in the day, is 3.2 feet, or 3.5 feet, somewhere around there. So it's quite a far distance that you have to be with this giant piece of glass. And then this last video is with the 70 to 200. It's the USM version with IS. It's the USM version 2 L 70 to 200 EF lens, zoom lens by Canon. And it also has a pretty decent shallow depth of field. Obviously not as shallow as that manual OM lens or the 85 millimeter Canon lens. Here's a shot of the waves crashing against the sand in a bush at the end of my street down by my beach. And you can see that I'm using the variable ND filter and how dark it gets and how light it gets. There is no, it's not clickable. It doesn't have a number system to tell you what stop you're at with the filter itself, so you kind of have to guess. I would have thought for $400 that you would have got a little more capabilities of knowing where you're at as far as the ND itself, but unfortunately you don't. Whew, I think I'm done with adapted lens reviews for a little bit, although much more testing needs to be done. So far, from adapting old F-mount glass to my Nikon Z and old EF glass to my new EOS R, my conclusions are, because I don't have any of this glass, I don't have older F-mount glass, I don't have any older EF glass. I'm new to Canon mirrorless, and I'm new to Nikon mirrorless. I'm coming from Micro Four Thirds, so I don't have any of these lenses. All I have are the native lenses to these mirrorless systems, and they are blazing fast compared to these older, chunky, heavy pieces of glass. Right now I'm filming on the Nikon Z6 with the 24 to 70 f2.8, and it is so fast and so quiet. It has dual motors, and it snaps to focus, and there's no breathing, and it's using phase detect and contrast detect in sequence with each other. Same with the Canon. It has that dual pixel focus, and they've made this new RF lens, their new line of RF lenses coming out, made for the new mirrorless cameras that are super fast and super snappy. So I know you don't like to hear that, and I'm sorry to tell you, these are my opinions, of course, and you're more than welcome to buy these adapters and these cameras and go check for yourself. But they're noisy and they're slow and just not what I'm used to. I think for me, putting adapters on my new mirrorless cameras is more for the nostalgia. Finding some retro lenses at a garage sale, or going to an older camera store and having them search for some older glass for me. That's what I'm interested in, is having fun with these older lenses, these bigger apertures, these tiny little glass or big glass, and all metal construction, these legacy lenses by Nikon and Olympus and everything. Just like we've been adapting Micro Four Thirds for years, using the bigger glass and metabones. That's what adapters to me are for, because I love my native glass. It's super fast and super quiet, and that's what I've become used to. So I'll still be testing and coming out with more reviews on adapted glass in the future. But for now, I'm gonna leave it to you guys to come to your own conclusions. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it didn't make anybody mad. Please hit the like and subscribe button. If you do have some comments, please go ahead and leave them, and I'll respond as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.